Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Kai, and today I have for you a different type of haul video. So I actually have two packages here from Vettsy. Now, I have not reviewed Vettsy on this channel yet, and they did reach out to me. They offered to send me a couple of things to try. That's in this package here. I actually purchased this package back in, oh gosh, probably like October, November of 2024. So almost a year ago. Crazy, I know. And I never got around to reviewing it. I had all the intentions, all the plans to, but it got shoved in the back of a drawer. But anyway, since they reached out and offered to send me some stuff, and since I actually purchased some stuff myself, I thought I would do a little review for you all. It is a new brand to the channel. And I know that they're really popular, like they have a big following, so I am very curious about their products. I have actually tried a couple of their cat eye gels. I really liked the ones that I tried. I used a purple one in one of my very, very early on sets. I will try to link it up in the corner, but it was pretty, like it performed decently. This video is not sponsored or anything, like I'm not required to say certain things. These are my honest thoughts. Again, this package here I purchased. This one was sent to me. I'm not affiliated. So let's just go ahead and unbox everything, and then we'll get to swatches and trying it all out, shall we? Okay, so we'll start with the things that I purchased. Okay, so the first thing in here is actually a little mystery bag. I don't remember how much this was. I believe it was either $10 or $20, but they were doing a promotion where if you purchased the mystery bag, you would get 10 random items. It's things like glitters, and it looks like some paint pens, mold, and some sequins. I will go ahead and open this up after I pull everything out. And then I specifically purchased 2 of the cat eye polishes. So that's what these 2 are. These are actually from my first order with Vettsy. They had sent me the wrong airbrush stickers, and so when I reached out, they just said if I ever plan on placing another order, they offered to send me the correct ones in there or the refund. And at the time, I just said they can send them in the next order. They do send you swatches. I noticed that with my last cat eye order as well. They send you the swatches and a magnet. And then I also ordered 2 of these reflective glitter gels. It looks like they're going to be really pretty on the website. They looked stunning, so I'm excited to try these out. And then I think this is just like a little freebie probably. Oh yeah, a glass nail file. Okay, interesting. All right, so that was my package of things that I purchased. Now this is the PR package. The things they sent me to review. So I do know what's in here because they messaged me about what they wanted to send me. These 2 are actually their new ombre palette gels. Actually, I don't think they're palettes. I think they're jarred, but it's their pat gels. Yeah, you get a set of 6 here. And then I think these are just the sponges for it. That's it, yeah. And then you get the sponge with the little holder. And then this here I am actually quite excited about. It is their magnetic swatch book. Now, I saw this on Instagram, and I immediately thought it was the coolest idea. Oh, cool. I didn't even realize that. So they send you a sheet of labels, and here's the actual book. I'm kind of surprised at the packaging. Like, it's like neatly tied up. It's kind of cute. So it comes all wrapped up and protected, and here's what it looks like. So it's just an acrylic binder that has all of these detachable swatches in it. So it looks like then that this is the 120 color book. So they give you 120 stickers, which that's handy to have all the labels. I didn't know that you got that. And here's the little binder. The cover is not like hard plastic. It's that soft, flexible plastic, but it buttons here. And when you open it up, these are hard acrylic sheets. This does look cloudy because it has a peely layer. All right, we're gonna have to take all the swatches off to get the peely layer off, unfortunately. You know what? I think I got some extra magnets because these two here are too stuck together. So I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but I have some extra swatches, which is nice. All right, well, not quite as satisfying as I wanted, but there you go. Maybe this side will be smoother. Okay, so that's what it would look like. Normally it would be completely clear and see-through like this. And these swatches have this like thick plastic so that when you put it in the book, it just snaps right in place. Yeah, so I actually got quite a few extra swatches. Looks like 5 of them. And yeah, I just got some extras, which is nice. Now, so far I am really liking this binder. A couple attention to detail elements that I really appreciate is, again, the ridge here on the back means that this seamlessly snaps into place. I like that the tips are pre-etched and it's not like pre-buffed where the etching is so small you can barely tell. These are like properly etched. They're properly sanded and textured so that when you put your swatch color over it, it's not going to pull away. Yeah, I hate to say it. I do like the binder, and the reason I hate to say it is it's quite expensive. I will say that. Some people I know are doing like DIY projects to make it. I personally I don't have the time right now to do like tangential DIY projects outside of doing my DIY nails. So I appreciate that this was sent over. I think it will be super helpful for checking to see not only which colors go on your clients if you're somebody who works like home-based or in a salon, but also you can see which colors go together well. Because sometimes I find like people are indecisive about colors, or they simply don't know if 2 tones would go together. And so having these as an option to swatch and like hold over people's nails is going to really help. But again, my only drawback here is that I do think it's a little bit pricey. Okay, so let me go ahead and put this to the side. We'll bring it back out again when we do our swatches, and let's open up the products. Okay, so here are the items that I picked up and or received. Let's start with this little mystery bag here. Again, I believe this was like $10, $20 maybe, but it comes with, I believe, 10 random items. So I wanted to give it a try. I used to be really into the nail couture scoops actually, but I ended up kind of like growing out of love with some of the products. So I wanted to try this chance bag and see what I got. First off, there are a lot of fun little decorative elements. So like these butterflies here. So it looks like you get the colored ones in these fun bright pastel colors, and then some silvery gold butterflies as well. So yeah, that's cute. You do get this cuticle revitalizer oil with aloe. It's honestly probably just like a basic cuticle oil. Yep, there we go. But there are all of the ingredients if you're interested. See what it smells like actually. It kind of just smells like clean. I don't know, like if you're in a hotel or something, kind of just smells like clean. We have some more little charms here. These are just some white, red, and black bows. They are pretty adorable. I don't much use these acrylic charms anymore just because I am doing a lot of hand sculpting as of late, but they're cute. Okay, and then they did give us a gold pen. This is an acrylic paint pen. which means you can do like details on a nail that's mattified. One of my favorite things to actually do is use acrylic pens, or at least like acrylic art gel pens. The brand Jelly Roll makes the Moonlit line that is opaque jelly pens, and they work great for nail art, honestly. So this nail here, these are stickers, the little characters, but the plaid I did with an ink, and then the white is with the Jelly Roll. But here's this gold pen. I wonder if this is even still good, honestly. I wouldn't blame them if it weren't. You know what? Actually, it is. The ink is coming out. Wow, that's kind of impressive. I figured it would be all dried up by now. Let's give it a little try. So it does work. The gold itself, I would say, is a little bit more on the green side, like a metallic green gold, where some of the other metallics that I've used are a bit more of like a true gold. It does work. It does bleed a little bit if the nail is filed. So I would recommend putting this on top of like a really smooth matte surface if you were to get it. So yeah, it's a decent little pen. It's just maybe not my preferred color, but other colors I would definitely be interested in trying. All right, up next we have a liner gel, it looks like. Yeah, so art gel liner number 19. I don't use liners like this much, but I will say it can be very convenient to have it like in its own bottle with its own, oh wow, with its own brush. This is not the color I was expecting at all from the bottle. I like this color a lot more than what's on the bottle, so that's a plus. Yeah, that's such a pretty bright, like peacock aqua blue almost. Let's go ahead and swatch it. There we go. There's like a little teeny tiny bit of sheerness maybe, just to allow it to cure all the way through. So here's the liner gel, and it's cute. It's a cute color. I will say it's not like the most opaque liner that I've used. It's a little transparent where these lines are thinner. Let me just show you. And that might just be that, again, look, I will say this, the polishes that I actually ordered are on the older side. And since this blue liner is part of a random bag, I don't know how old it is. It could be that they've reformulated since coming out with this specific product, but yeah, color's cute. It could be a little bit more opaque. All right, up next in our baggie, we have this here, which looks to be a nail mold. I think it's Hello Kitty, actually. Oh yeah, it's like one of those luck kitties. All right, also in here, this one is just kind of like a basic silicone applicator tool. Just one of those like paddles that you can rub chrome in with. And then we have two solid polishes. So one in Wanted, which is this like mauve purple, and Young Love, which looks like an ivory and off-white of some sort. And then last but not least are just some really teeny tiny little acrylic clear caviar beads. So here's what they look like. They do have like that aurora shift to them, iridescent shift. They're quite pretty. I think these could go really well on maybe like a dessert set to look like sprinkles or something like that. But you get a decent amount of them. They look really cute in aquarium nails as well. Okay, and then these are the two polishes that came as part of the random bag. So let's go ahead and swatch these with our swatcher book. I do very much appreciate how easy it is to just snap these in there, grab a new one. So I'll grab two. Okay, so let's start with Wanted. This is number 17. Ooh, okay. It's like very solid. I don't know what I was expecting, but it's like, it's not going anywhere, that's for sure. Oh yeah, okay. It's very much like a, I don't know, solid gel texture. It's a little stringy. But again, they're a little old. Okay, so this is like I don't know if it's meant to be like a syrup shade, because it does have a little bit of transparency to it, it looks like. I'm just gonna let this level out a little bit. The product does have a tiny bit of self-leveling to it. Like, it doesn't hold stiff peaks or anything like that. Let's look at what 2 coats does. All right, that was 2 coats. We can go ahead and do 3. Okay, so that's 3. I will say you need 3 to get full opacity, but I think they might be nice for like doing painted details, hand painted details. I'll try that out with the next color. All right, next color is the White Young Love. Okay, yeah, it's just, I don't know, that looks like plain white to me. This also has the same formula that's quite thick. Okay, and I think this one seems to have slightly higher coverage than the last. There's like a little bit of potential unevenness, but I think this will definitely be a 2-coater for full opacity. All right, coat number 2. Yeah, 2 coats on this one, and you're good to go with opacity. Okay, so I also grabbed just a little petal brush because I want to see if this will be good for some like painted flowers. So you could get some flowers from it. It's a little too stringy, I think, for like easy hand painted flowers. Yeah, in a bind it would work, but not its intended purpose, I do not think. Okay, so that was these 2 and the last of the mystery items. We'll now move on to swatching the items that I actually ordered. So let's look at these 2, because these are the ones that I'm really excited about. These are their reflective glitters, the amber gel, and I got RA2 and RA3. Hopefully they're still available. Again, I got these a while ago, but it was such a pretty collection. So unfortunately, I lost the footage for this section, which is kind of okay anyway, since these gels, it seems like, are no longer available, at least in these colors. They are really pretty though. They're these just like super chunky glitters with a bunch of aurora flakes and that reflective glitter, plus the color jelly base. This blue one is stunning. Just so bright, so gorgeous. They are a little on the chunkier side, so you do have to overlay them just to smooth out the shape. But I did think that they were really pretty, especially for the price. I think they were only like maybe $5 each, something like that. Though they are not HEMA-free to my knowledge, so that is just something to note. All right, so the last 2 polishes that I ordered are some cat eye gels, which, you know me, I can't resist a good cat eye gel. So let's go ahead and open these and swatch them. Now, I mentioned this before. It's nice that they include the little swatching stones to attach to your polish bottle here. Because I have that swatch book, I'm going to go ahead and swatch them on there. But I do think it's nice that they include that. So this here is a Velvet Cat Eye Gel VC03, and I'll be honest, I don't remember what it is. So we're going to find out together. Oh, and it's just like a nice pink. Well, that's pretty. Let's see how well it magnetizes. It is quite a thin consistency, it feels like. So this may be one that you'll want to layer up in multiple coats. Ooh, and actually this would look really good over that mauve color from earlier. All right, so I'm actually going to use the rod magnet that came with my Mayo Eros collection. This is from Yogo. They actually are selling this now from Sweetie Nail Supply, just individually. Highly recommend it. Never have a problem with this magnetizing anything. Ooh, okay, that's very glossy. Quite the nice shine to it. It is quite shiny, I will say. It's quite pretty. I am going to demagnetize it and do 2 coats just to see if we can build up the color since it is quite sheer. All right, let's see what 2 coats looks like. Yes, I would definitely recommend 2 coats or over some sort of base because it is quite sheer, but the shine is very pretty. So here's what she looks like. She's basic, but in a good way. Like she's very shiny, very glossy. If you're looking for a super sheer cat eye, like one that has very little of a base color to it, it's almost more of like a jelly, I would say this is a good recommendation. All right, and then up next is VC06. So it must be from the same collection, if I had to assume. Another silky one. Oh yeah, and this one is just straight silver. I think I remember wanting just like a nice cool tone silver because this is almost like a periwinkle blue, a blue silver. Again, very sheer in terms of the color. All right, and that one is pretty shiny as well. The shine almost has like a little bit of a purpley tint to it. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's quite pretty. Definitely more of a subtle effect. Okay, and last but not least, let's look at these cushion ombre gels. So these were really, I think, the item that they wanted me to review for you all. It was this and the binder. The other stuff was just things that I bought. And once again, they were purchased quite a while ago. So disclaimer there, but I'm excited to try these cushion gels. These are all the rage right now. The pat gels for ombres and things like that. I do have the YHH palette, which I think performs wonderfully. But these are some brighter colors, I would say, than what's in the YHH palette. So I'm excited to try these out as well. Okay, first of all, I love that these are the mini sponges. I find that the big square ones are really hard to use because they're difficult to pick up with the picker for one, and for two, they're a little bit too big to do anything but like a vertical, a horizontal ombre where the tip is a different color than the base. So I'm glad that they opted for the small sponges. And then this is just your pretty standard run-of-the-mill picker. All right, I think we'll do purple first because I love purple. The packaging on these is super cute. It's like this blush pink, that frosted plastic look, which I do like the frosted plastic. I think it looks kind of classy. So now they're just in their little jars. We'll start with the purple. Packaging is quite cute, I will say that. Oh, okay, so I was expecting it to be covered or something, but I guess not. So the way that these work is almost like a cushion foundation. If you're familiar with cushion foundations, you've got this screen over the top, and you're going to just take your little sponge and kind of like push past the screen into the product. And I think the screen is just meant to help evenly distribute your product. So you just pat through the screen into the gel. And I think that screen, again, is just supposed to help with the even distribution of the product. It's going to be quite a thick gel. And you can even use the lid to kind of like tap off some of the excess. That's not bad actually. These gels, they are quite thick, like they're very pasty. And so I think that helps with getting the pigment even. Wow. Okay. I will say it's hard to kind of see the effects on this like super matte nail, but it's blending quite nicely. I'm actually decently surprised. Okay, it's buildable on top of itself. So like I haven't cured this at all, but I can go in with more product on top of what's already there and just continue to blend that out, build up the center. That's really pretty. Okay, let me cure this and then we're going to try on an actual nail tip, because with the way that this is etched, it's hard to really see if you're getting a seamless blend. So we'll switch over to an actual nail tip, but that's really pretty. All right, so I have one here that we can experiment with. So I'm just gonna start at the free edge and we'll see what it looks like blending backward. Okay, not bad, not bad. This is a lighter color, but as you can see, the blend is honestly quite smooth. I'm a little bit shocked. Okay, let's see if we can build up the color on the tip here. Okay, so I just realized I lost about 20 minutes of footage. So I need to show you these colors again. So this is the pink. And if you're like me, you might be a little bit alarmed to see how like neon that looks. But once you get it on the nail, it shears out a ton and becomes like this really nice, like, I don't know. It's not a hot pink, but it's just a good standard mid-tone pink. Here it is on an actual nail. I will say though, it is quite sheer. Like you can see it's almost like a jelly. So I would recommend putting this on top of maybe like a white polish, a colored base. It's much more sheer than the purple that we tried on this nail at first. It blends really well. I would almost say it blends better than the purple because of that sheerness, but yeah, you'll want to base with this one. The blue color I'm definitely in love with. It is like a gorgeous sky blue. Again, darker in here, lighter on the actual nail, which I've noticed is a trend with these pat gels. They have to be a little bit darker so that when they go on the nail itself, they lighten. That one's a super pretty color. And here it is on this nail. Let you get up close. Again, quite sheer though, so I would recommend some sort of base color underneath, because otherwise you can see right through it pretty easily. You'll have to build up even more coverage, add more layers if you want it to be super opaque. And then this is the blush pink, more of like a skin tone nudie pink. This is what this one looks like. I actually really like this color. It's the perfect nude, especially if you're doing like French tips and you need something to cover up your free edge. So if you're using syrup polishes, especially like a syrup French of some sort, you're going to see the free edge underneath if you have any of the white free edge on a manicure, just because it's transparent. But if you take like a nude color or even just like the white, a jelly white, and you kind of like blend it over where the nail plate is white, it'll help hide that and you get a really clean looking French. So yeah, I think this would be perfect for that. It's a nice color in and of itself. Okay, so up next is actually called Nude, which is interesting because I feel like the last one was very nude colored. So I'm not sure what this one's going to be. Perhaps just more tan? Yeah, okay. This one's more of like a brown nude. Oh, interesting. It's quite tan. Okay. Definitely lighter on the nail itself. It's an interesting nude color. I feel like nudes are often on the like peachier pink side, whereas this one is quite, I don't know, like warm yellow gray almost. It's a lot more like brown toned. It's still a really light color, but it's got those like yellowy warm undertones. I don't know, it's interesting for sure. Just gonna build up that one side a little bit more just to see what kind of color payoff we can get. Curiosity, I'm just gonna go straight on the nail. It looks like you can actually just blend it out on the nail if you don't want to tap it on the lid first. Okay, and our last one is oatmeal, and I'm hoping this is going to be a white, but I think it's more of like a lighter tan. I was really hoping for like a stark white. Okay, that's pretty. On the nail, it looks pretty white. It's like, it's definitely like an off-white, a cream white. But it goes on a lot lighter than it is in the pot. Now you can layer this wet on wet, meaning you don't have to cure it before adding more pigment. I would just say don't work it too much. Otherwise, as your sponge kind of like dispenses the color and maybe dries out a little bit, it can start picking up some of the color that's already there. I think this one might be the loosest out of all of them in terms of like being able to see a little bit of the texture. I do just think there is a little bit more texture with this specific color. Maybe because it's thinner, it doesn't have as much pigment as the others. Because it is closer to white, but it still performs well. Like that looks nice. Looks really nice. Okay, and since I have these just for fun, I want to try out one with the Pat Pat gel just to see if I can get a clear image from it. So that works pretty decently that way. I do just want to test if you can get that like airbrush look the other way. So, and you just pat around the sticker. I should have maybe used a different color so it was a little bit more apparent, but it did work. Then I also want to see if top coat hides or brings out any imperfections. So let's see. Here are all of the swatches. I'm pleasantly surprised with these. I think they blend really well. I think the colors are pretty nice. I would have liked, again, like a white instead of maybe this oatmeal color. But they work well for airbrush purposes, things like that. I do think they need a base color, so they're not quite as opaque as, say, like the YHH palette. At least when you're blending them on. The one that is the most opaque, I would say, is maybe like the oatmeal color, the nudie color, maybe even the purple here. The purple towards the end is more opaque, and you can build up the color. You can do a lot of layers and get more opacity, but some of them, like this pink, are just going to be pretty sheer no matter what, just because of the formulation. So I'm decently surprised. So this is everything that I got. So let's talk about what I really liked. I think that these actually surprised me quite a bit. I really like the purple. I think the blue is gorgeous, and I like the blush color as well. I think the oatmeal one is just a touch too textured for me, but the purple, blue, the blush color, and even the nude was really nice. The pink is too, it's just a little bit on the sheer side, but I thought they performed really well for the price. I believe they're $7.99 on the Vettsy website. However, they always have sales going, and I personally did not get a code with them, but I'm sure you can find other creators who do have like a 10% off code. So I think that's pretty decent if you wanted to pick up a couple colors. I also saw that they had a whole nother set of these. As a set, you can get 6 of them for, I think it's $38.99. They have another set that have like the classic colors of like a true pink, a white, a black, and I don't remember the other ones. So they do have a white. So I might pick that up just to try because I thought those ones worked pretty well. I appreciate that they come with the sponges, the small ones. The cat eyes were really pretty. These ones, the silky ones, they are just on the thinner side, the more sheer side. So if you want like full coverage, you will need a base color underneath, but the shine was there. Really pretty. They don't smell much at all, which is always something that I'm looking at. The liner was okay. This is probably one of their older products. Again, it's something that came in that like mystery grab bag. Not my favorite, I'll be honest. It's a little too thin for me. I like my liner gels to be super punchy and pigmented. Likewise, personally, I would probably not reach for these solid gels. I just don't personally use a lot of like opaque colors in general. And if I do, I would probably go more for like a one coater in a bottle. That's just my personal preference. And then let's talk this swatch book. I hate to say it, I really like it. I think it's so satisfying to use. I really appreciate how well everything fits together. It seems like it's manufactured pretty nicely. The tips themselves are that like frosted material. So they're sanded, so you don't have to do any extra prep work to use it. I'm a big fan. Only downside, it's quite expensive. This one here, the 120 swatches, I believe is $75 on their website. Again, you can probably get 10% off, which drops it down to what, like $68, something around there. It's quite pricey. I hope that maybe they're able to drop that price a little bit. I understand that like acrylic can get expensive, like those magnetic acrylic displays. I purchased some for, $20+ on AliExpress even for like one of the stand-up acrylic displays. So I do get that it can get expensive manufacturing this kind of thing. But if they are able to make it cheaper, I think that would be great because I do really like it, I hate to say. So that's my thoughts. I would love to hear if you guys have any experience with Vettsy in the comments down below. I do think the shipping time takes a little bit of time since I believe they come from China, these products, so just keep that in mind. Now, I do give this channel a little bit more towards like Korean imports and Japanese brands just because that's what I personally like using. But I did reach out to my Discord when they reached out to me and asked if people would be interested in seeing this brand, and some people were, so I decided to give it a shot, and I'm glad I did because there are some things that I did like that I might be interested in getting some more of. So if there are other brands that you recommend or that you would like me to look into, that's always something that I can consider is buying some stuff and doing some like personal purchase reviews. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Check out my Discord in the description down below. If you would like to leave suggestions, that's mostly where I'm going to see it. We have a great community over there. Everybody's always sharing tips and suggestions, recommendations, that sort of thing. But I think that's enough talking from me. So I hope you are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you all next time. Bye.